This is the very first episode of Hotrod Bedford TJ. It's going to be four-wheel drive Bedford TJ, which is a light truck from the 50s onwards. I believe until 98 they manufactured them in some places. Sort of 40s design or 50s design, very similar to the Chevrolet advanced design truck. This one is going to have adjustable ride height. These are double-ended servos. The arm, it's not a servo horn, so the shock absorbers will be on here. Transmission is a Traxxas transmission from a TRX, but it's an aluminium knockoff. So what I'm going to have to do is make the chassis, which is going to be made from steel this time. Chassis angle is going to have to be like that for at least that section from there to there. Anyway, the idea will be that eventually when it's finished, this will raise and lower like this, around 2 inches of travel. So it'll be quite good fun. It's going to be quite fast, 20 miles an hour or thereabouts. I've got a metal miter saw, so I'm going to cut slots, some like little V's in here, do two at the same time so that they match. I think the old MIG. That's all I've got so far. I'm going to hopefully get a bit more done today. I just need to clear a bit of space in my shed because my tiny shed of dreams is sort of in the way now, and I've got a load of crap on here which I need to, it's not crap, it's all radio controlled stuff that is basically, but I need to make a bit more room. So all my tools, man, I've got to force everything out really. It's getting a bit on top. That's better, a bit more room to work. What I'm going to be aiming for is, I think, 38cm wheelbase, 120 inches, which is the wheelbase of the van that I'm working on, the truck. 3 meters. Let me do it on my calculator. Oh, really? So it's 120 times 25.4 equals 3048. So it's 3048 mil divided by 8 equals 381. Big Michael, get your brain in gear. Let me just actually get this on here. Jesus, anything. Fuck. Add, open a new tab. Bedford TJ wheelbase. There we go. Open image, new tab. Yeah, so the J1, 119 inches. So let's go from that, 119. 119 times 25.4 equals 3022. What's going on with my phone? Then divide that by 8. 377 millimeters. That is 1/8 scale then. 377, and that is pretty much how I've got it set up there. So that's what I'm going to go for. So now what I need to do really is make a side profile. I'm going to use this signboard, which is just 5mm foam with paper on it. It's quite good stuff. So I need to find an image of the van. Right, I've drawn this on a piece of A3 paper. I basically found an image that I've blown up on my computer screen to it was a long wheelbase truck, but I've blown it up to the size of 1/8 scale. And the way I did that was I knew the wheelbase of the truck, and I've measured, like, the scale wheelbase of a 1/8 version was 4.92 meters, So I've made sure that this image is that scale basically, so hopefully this should be a 1/8 image. So what I'm going to do is cut that out, sellotape it onto this board, and then just cut straight through the board. So I've got a nice sort of just a side profile that then I'll be able to like offer up to this to see how it looks, really, to see whether I'm going to be anywhere close to where it needs to be in terms of scale and the tyre sizing and stuff like that. I made this just a template really, just to give me an idea of how big things are. These wheels are smaller than the ones I was originally intending to use. The tyre size is 108mm instead of 125. These are 1.9 wheels. So I've got that fits nicely over those tyres. That's going to be pretty cool. Made myself a template for the chassis rails, so you can see there's a bit of a kick there. That's to allow for this, and the reason why I've got this set at that angle is so that the drive line on the front doesn't interfere on the bottom of the motor can. Obviously that's the lowest setting it will ever be. That's going to be with the suspension sort of compressed, and I think that we'll probably be looking at something around there for like normal sort of ride height, uncompressed suspension, but on the lowest setting, and then when we're raised up it's going to be around there, so the drive line angles will be okay, they're not going to interfere on the motor. And that is how the chassis rails will look roughly. I think I probably will stick with that, to be honest, because it's pretty close. Got it stepped up over the front there and over the back, and that gives enough clearance for the shocks. I'll just put the shock is going to be up here, come up to about here, so it's going to be about right. So that's 2 inches above the chassis rail. So my servo is going to be right in between them. That's quite good really. Anyway, all will become clear.